Okie dokie, Smokey. Here we go. Okay. I think we're still on practice test 1, and we're doing the very last problem on the no calculator part. So when we take this test, it will have 2 pages. One page will be white, and you will do that with only a baby calculator. The other page will be some color, and you will do that with your own. You'll need your own graphing calculator to do that. All right, are we clear? All right, so here we go. This is the last one that we're doing without a calculator. So here we go. We're going to graph this sine curve. Now, what do you notice about the curve right off the bat? What do you see right off the bat that you have to pay attention to? It's flipped. What? It's flipped. It's flipped. So when I draw my shape, it's going to be upside down. From north. Do it in Canvas. I handed those out the other day. I don't remember what year that was. All right. So now we've got. All right. So I'm going to turn my sine curve upside down. Here we go. There's the shape of a sine curve, right? Upside down sine. I know my amplitude is 3. This number right here, that's my amplitude, that's my vertical. Positive, because amplitude is always positive. And then I need to label, the only thing you have to do is to label my horizontal axis. And I know that under normal circumstances, these are the labels. But what has happened? Divided by 2/3, right? So 90, all of them divided by 2/3. 90 divided by 2/3 is 90 times 3/2. And you can do that on your little calculator, and it's 135. Now, you need to label all the rest of them, so you can do exactly the same thing for all of them. Or you can remember that if this is 135, then this will be another 135, and another 135, and another 135. So either way, I like to just add, and for me that's faster, but you can do this division for all of those numbers and come up with a period of 540 degrees. Okay. All right, now you got to get your own calculators out. First one's easy. 18.775. Second about ready to do, there's no partial credit for because there's no work. You just type it in, right? Now let's look at the problems and pay particular attention to the fact that A and D and E and F all have degree marks, right? Which means that my calculator needs to be in degree mode. So I'm going to mode, I'm highlighting degree, and then I'm ready to start typing. So I'm going to do those first. I'm going to do A, D, E, and F first. So A, sine 28 second angle degrees, 14 second angle minutes. 10,000th is 4 decimal places, so 0.4731. 0.4731. You want to make sure, right now you're typing along with me, or you should be, Mr. Ayers, you typing along with me? Okay. And you're getting the right answer, but you need to make sure you go home tonight, or maybe, you know, next period in religion, just kidding. At some point, retype these in, right? And make sure that you get the right answer. All right, we're skipping to D, secant. You do not have a secant button. So what do we have to type to make that happen? 1 divided by cosine 19, 1.0576. How do we get a secant on our calculator? 1 divided by cosine. Well, E, oh my gosh, if you miss E, I don't know what to tell you. Just press cosine 98, right? Negative 0.1392. Remember, when you are rounding to the 4th place, count over 4 places and draw a line. If that number is 5 or bigger, this goes up. If it's 5 or it's less than 5, it just stays 1. We're rounding to 4 decimal places. 10,000. Okay, and finally, oh boy, cosecant. How do I do a cosecant on my calculator? 1 divided by sine, and then 15 second angle degrees, 19 second angle minutes, and then 11 alpha plus 3.7849. Two more problems to go. We skipped these. Why did we skip these? Because they're going to be in radian mode. So we got to go to mode, change our calculator into radians. Highlight radians, go to mode, highlight radians, and then tangent 1.15, 2.2345. Second cosine to get that inverse cosine, 0.376, and it's 1.1853. Now you know the test looks just like this, right? And so you're going to have to switch from degrees to radians. Now, the only problem on the test that you are are to be in radian mode are these. Everything else is degree mode. So let's go ahead and change right now. Let's change back into degrees. And you'll need to remember to do that on test day. Every problem, your calculator needs to be in degrees, except in this section. Okay, so number 10, here we go. I see a degree mark right there. So if I forget to switch it back, hopefully that degree mark reminds me. So we are going to write an equation. And the equation I write is going to be a sine, cosine, or tangent. Here is my angle. Which side is this? Opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? That's adjacent. Which side is that? So if I have adjacent and hypotenuse, I'm going to use cosine. So cosine angle, remember, the angle is always hooked to the cosine, or the sine of the tangent. So cosine of the angle equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Tricky one. How do I type this in? I don't know the angle. When I don't know the angle, I have to press a special button. So what do I press? Yeah. So x is going to be the angle whose cosine is 11/14ths. And the angle whose cosine is 11/14ths. I'm just typing this in right here. Is 38 degree, 38 point, coming around, 38.21 degrees. When do I have to do this? When my angle is my x. I am not going to do it in this problem. But I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to write an equation. What do you think I'll use this time? Here's my angle. Do you think I'll do sine, cosine, or tangent? Tangent, because this is opposite and this is adjacent. So tan 28 equals 13 over x. No special button here. I have to do some arithmetic. What do I need to do to solve that? Multiply by x, and then divide. So 13 divided by tan 28, I got 24.45. Now I gotta draw a course, and when I draw a course, I have to remember how to set it up. So remember, when I'm drawing a course, zero's up here, and it goes this way. So 0, 90, 180, 270. So 118 would be something like this. Would you agree with that? That's all you had to do. You've got a lot harder ones than that. That's an easy one. All right, now I have to do time I'm gonna do it decimally, that means with my calculator. Okay, let's do that first. Let's do that one first, the calculator one. Sine, second tangent, 2 divided by 5. Hopefully you got 3714.3714. Everybody get that? Sine, inverse tangent, 2/5. Now, I gotta do it by hand. So the first thing I have to decide is where am I going to draw my triangle? Notice that's a positive number. What do we know? When we do second tangent, it is a positive number, it's gonna be in quadrant 1. No matter what that is, if that's inverse sine or inverse cosine, doesn't matter. If that's positive, we are drawing the picture in quadrant 1. And in this picture, the tangent is 2/5. So opposite over adjacent. Next step. What? Do the Pythagorean theorem. So 5 squared plus 2 squared is c squared. Remember your hypotenuse is c. That's what I don't know. So it looks like, did you get the square root of 29? Okay? Now I want my answer, so I drew a picture of this. Now I want to know the sign of that. So what is the sign in that picture? Opposite over hypotenuse? So 2 over root 29. Now you want to check and make sure you're right. If you do 2 divided by the square root of 29, what should happen? You should get that, right? And we did. So you're going to do that problem twice. You're going to do it once on your calculator, just type them in, and then you're going to do it once, drawing a picture, and get an answer with a radical in it. Okie dokie, stuppies. Alright, one more page. The test will not have this many word problems on it. I just squeezed in as many as I had room for here for practice, but it won't have, it'll probably have 3, my guess is. Alright. Draw a picture of the following, write an equation, solve it, rounding the nearest hundred. We have a squirrel, again, sitting in the top of a tree. The tree is 76 feet tall. You need to be able to draw this picture by yourself. He's looking at a nut on the ground. His angle of depression is 37.8. Where do I put that 37.8? Right here, always. Find the distance from the nut to the base of the tree. Does everybody understand that's X? What's this? This is the distance from the nut to the squirrel. We're doing nut to base of tree. Alright, now we write an equation, sine, cosine, or tangent. What do you think? I heard some tangents. Sam, what do you think about that? You think it's tangent? No? What do you think it is? Sine? Why do you think it's sine? Okay. What should Sam be thinking right now? He should be looking at this angle right here and asking himself, which side is this? So Sam, which side is this over here, the 76? Which side is that? Opposite? Uh-huh. What is the X?
Adjacent.
Okay, stop right there, Sam. SOHCAHTOA. Which function uses opposite and adjacent? Tangent. So tangent 37.8 equals opposite over adjacent. Right? So then what's our first step to solving this now? Multiply by x. So x tan 37.8 equals 76. Come on. You know what, I got my phone now. Because the next time you show your eyes, I'm taking your picture and I'm sending it to Coach. Okay? And Mom. Okay? So let's keep those eyes open. Then I'll divide. So x equals 76 over tan 37. I'll just go to my calculator. 76 divided by tan 37.8. I got 97.98 feet. Seagull on top of a lighthouse. So here's the seagull on top of the lighthouse. The seagull spots a fish. The goal is 78 feet above sea level. The goal is 320 feet from the fish. This would be the fish to the shore, or the fish to the lighthouse. Find the angle of depression or elevation, either one do the same thing. So what do you have to figure out? Do I want sine, cosine, or tangent? Sine? Sine x, remember the angle always goes with the function, so sine x equals opposite over hypotenuse. Now don't do any math, don't multiply or anything like that. When x is my angle, what do I do?
It's 76 over 320, right?
Oh, wait a minute, I copy it wrong.
Oh, sorry, never mind.
So second sine, 78 divided by 320. And I got 14.11 degrees. Alright, so I'm still missing Terry, Elena, Janet, Les. Is that alright with everybody? Alright. Letter C. See if you can get started on a picture for letter C. Come on, I never those papers. See if you can get started on a picture. So this time we have an airplane coming into the airport. The plane is 6,543 feet above ground. Did you put your 6,543 right here? The angle is 23 degrees. Did you put that right there? Now, where did you put your X? How far is the airplane from the airport? Hypotenuse. Did you write an equation? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Sine, opposite, so sine 23 equals opposite over hypotenuse. This one, you do have to do some math, so you're gonna multiply by X. And then divide. So, 6,543 divided by sine 23. Did you get 16,745? 0.53 feet. All right, here we go. Anybody feel like you can come up and do D? Terry, if you want to move so you can see, feel free to.
Like no matter what, enough equations we have to do now, and even if the x is greater, we still multiply by x. So you would always just multiply by.
The denominator, yeah, we want to get rid of the denominator. All right, here we go, I'll do it. Got a shadow, got a flagpole, makes a shadow 31 feet long when the angle of elevation of the sun is 29. Find the height of the flagpole. Where do I put the 31? Bottom, it's a shadow on the ground. Alright, so now we need a function. Hayden, you think we got sine, cosine, or tangent going on here?
Cosine,
Why do you think cosine?
because it's sine. Because obviously it would hypotenuse.
Okay, do I have the hypotenuse?
No. Tangent.
Yeah. So tan 29 equals opposite over adjacent. So I multiply by my denominator. So Gabby, this is what you were talking about. Now I know what X is. I don't have to do anything else. I just type 31 tangent 29, 17.18 feet. Alright, next. What is the angle of elevation of a man looking at the top of a building that is 84 feet tall if he is standing 1,234 feet from the building? Where do I put that 1, 2, 3, 4 number? On the bottom. Yep. Here's the man, here's the building. I don't know how far he is from the building. 1, 2, 3. Look at the sides. Opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. What do we got? We got two of them. Which two opposite and adjacent. So this will be another tangent problem. So tan x equals 84 over 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the tricky ones. Easy, but you have to remember, second tangent. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 3.89 degrees. Okay. All right, practice test 1 done. Let's pause for a moment. And does anybody have a question on any of the papers that I returned to you? All those papers that are on your desk when you came in? Anybody? Have a question about any of those before we start in on practice test 2? All right then, here we go, practice test 2, we are ready. Which looks just like practice test 1. We're going to put our calculators away. Actually, you can use them. You'll have a baby for this part. You can use your calculator for take care of it. Change into degrees. 7 pi over 10. 10. What do I do?
Multiply the 7.
7 times 180 divided by 10. So what is that?
126.
126 degrees. Good? Now the other way, 200 degrees. This is a little bit more work. What do I do if I want to change a degree into a radian? Pi over 180 equals x over 200. So 180x equals 200 pi. Remember, x is what you're solving for. So I'm going to divide it by 180. I'm going to know what x equals. So I can reduce that. And 20 over 18 would be 10 pi over 9. Trey, is that all right? Okay. All right, now what do we have? We have a circle, angle of 100 degrees in here. Radius is 8, and I want to know the arc length. When I see this problem, I immediately think arc length equals radius times radians. So it's just, to find arc length is super simple. You just multiply your radius times your radian measure. Now what makes this problem a little bit more complicated? The angle is in degrees. It needs to be in radians. So what am I going to do? Exactly what I just did. I'm going to say pi over 180 equals x over 100. Cross multiply and divide. Do you get 5 pi over 9? Do not write 5 pi over 9 in the answer blank. that 5 pi over 9? That's the radian. That's right here, right? That's this guy right here. That's 5 pi over 9. To get the answer for the answer blank, I still need to multiply that by 8 straight across. So my answer is 40 pi divided by 9. And that would be feet. Because the radius was feet. Okay, we talked about this last time. This is an absolute 100% guaranteed test question. 2 steps. Change that into a radian measure, and then multiply it by the radius. Alright. Now we gotta find all of the functions. And we know the sine is 2/5. They told us that. The sine is 2/5. Which automatically means the cosecant is 5/2. Right? Okay. Now what? Draw a triangle. Here's the tricky part. Where do I draw the triangle? Well, look at the problem very carefully. What does this mean? Where am I going to draw my triangle? Quadrant 2. Between 90 and 180, right here. Now when I draw that triangle, I know that opposite over hypotenuse is 2 over 5. Right? What do I do now? Pythagorean theorem. This is C. So a squared plus 2 squared equals 5 squared. A squared plus 4 equals 25. Did you get the square root of 21? Caution. Beep, 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 beep. What about that square root of 21? It's negative. Why is it negative? Left. Remember, when you draw a picture in something other than quadrant 1, it's going to have a negative somewhere. Never the hypotenuse. Okay, well now it's easy. Cosine is negative root 21 over 5, which means secant is 5 over negative root 21. Tangent is 2 over negative root 21, which means cotangent is negative root 21. Alright, now just a few more minutes. Let's stay focused. Here we go. Cotangent 300. What are we going to do with the cotangent of 300? No calculator, so not typing it in. What are we going to do here? Figure out where 300 is, right? So here's my setup. So wouldn't 300 be like right here? All the way down to 360. So there's 300. There's my triangle. now I gotta figure out how big that angle is right there. And don't be goofy. It's not the angle between 0 and 300. It's the angle between 360 and 300. So this is 60. Which means this side is root 3, this side is 1, and this side is 2. Because those are the sides of a 30, 60, 90. And then beep, 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 beep. I'm not in quadrant 1, so something's negative. What's negative? Root 3. Now with the cotangent. Tangent is adjacent over opposite. It's the flip of the tangent. So it's 1 over negative root 3. A lot of steps to that problem. Not hard. There's a lot to keep track of. Okay, look at this next one. Sine negative 420 degrees. Now, what does a negative angle mean? When the angle's negative, how does that change things? I go down, right? So when I start labeling, I'm gonna go this way. So negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, negative 360. Wait a minute. 420 is more than 360. So I'm going to go all the way around. Okay, that's 360. But then I'm going to have to go some more. How much more? $60 more. So I'm going to have to go another 60. So I'm actually down here. This is 60. So I go all the way around this way, and then 60 more to get 420. Because 360 plus 60 is 420. So I think I have exactly the same triangle I had in my last problem. Only this time I want the sine, so the answer will be negative 3 over 2. Really understand why that picture is in quadrant 4? Went all the way around and then 60 more in the negative direction. I want you to look carefully at this problem, you guys. Very carefully. Very carefully. I'm going to draw a triangle, like, because I do a triangle at a time. Where am I going to draw the triangle? Now, look at that notation. Look at that number. I'm going to draw it in quadrant 1. Because whenever I have that notation in a positive number, it's quadrant 1. Now, what am I looking for? What does this notation mean? I am looking for the angle. That's what that notation means, find the angle. So I'm looking for the angle, and I know the sine is 1 over root 2, opposite over adjacent. Opposite over hypotenuse. Sine, opposite over hypotenuse. Anybody recognize that picture? What's that angle? 45 degrees. So the answer to the question is 45 degrees. Remember, this means, this notation, whenever you see it or use it, you're finding an angle. So here I am finding another angle. This time though, I'm going to be in quadrant 2. Because the rules, which you do not have to memorize, which you have to put down on your grade sheet, the rules state that if you're inverse cosigning a negative, you're in quadrant 2. Adjacent over hypotenuse is 1/2. Do you recognize that this would be then root 3? And that this angle right here would be 60? Now, are you going to say that the answer is 60? Is that going to be the answer to the question? No, because isn't 60 degrees in quadrant 1? I need the quadrant 2 angle that makes a 60. So what is the quadrant 2 angle that makes a 60?
30?
No. 120. How do we know that's 120? Because all the way to here is 180, right? Oh, Lena, did you mean that was 30?
Yeah.
Okay, but that isn't the quadrant 2 angle. Quadrant 2 angle has to be bigger than 90. So I need an angle more than 90. Now, you said that's 30, so I'm 30 more than 90, so that would be another way to get 120. But the answer to the question is 120 degrees. All right, let's get these last two done. This section. Maybe number 6. All right, what's the first thing you're going to do with this guy?
17.
Changing into degrees. So we are finding the tangent of 315. Is that right? So now we'll draw 315. And it's right here. After 270. Perpendicular straight up. What's that angle? 45. Everybody okay with that being a 45? 315 to 360. And I know my sides are 1 root 2. Beep, beep, beep. I'm in quadrant 4, something's negative. What's negative? That guy right there, the opposite side is negative. I want the tangent. What's tangent? Opposite over adjacent. So it looks like the answer is -1. Same thing with this guy, gotta change him into degrees first. What's 3 pi over 2?
270.
270, uh-oh, this one's gonna be a little different. Because why? It's on the axis, 270. So we'll draw a circle with a radius of 1. Which means that point right there is what? What is that point? 0, -1. We're going straight down from the origin, guys. So that's 0, -1. So x is 0 and y is -1. I need cosine x over r. Cosine is x over r. So the answer is 0 over 1, which is 0. Last one of the day. Cosine is negative. Stop right there. Cosine is which letter? X. Where in that setup is X negative? That's right, over here. So we were here. That's where X is negative. Cosine is X. I also need the cosecant to be positive. Now, which letter is cosecant? This is a little trickier. Cosecant is Y, because cosecant is the flip of the sine, and sine is Y over R. So I need Y, whoa, I need Y to be positive. Where is Y positive? Right here. So the answer to the question is quadrant 2. Quadrant 2. Tomorrow, or whenever I see you again, make sure that you have your green sheets with you, because I got information for you about your green sheet.
When's our test?
I'm not sure, because it should be Friday, but we have short periods on Friday, so I gotta see how short they are. We may have to start chapter 5